This video is going to show you how to set up your new Warwick for Activator. You can also follow the same directions for using the paint, primers, and clears and stuff like that. But because you're using this solely for the Activator, and you've been having so much problems with Activator, we'll focus directly on that. So basically, you're going to get your Warwick in the box. You're basically going to see the cup. You'll see your gun and your regulator. You'll go ahead and want to connect everything together, your regulator to your gun and your cup. The Warwick basically has three knobs that are important on it. You have your first knob here on the very top, which is your fan. Then the second would be your fluid depth or your needle depth, and then third is your built-in air regulator down here. Alright, when you screw in your air regulator, what you want to do is you want to open up the built-in regulator all the way till it can't go anymore. That way we know that as much air as your screw-in regulator allows is what the air is going to go into the gun. A lot of people don't realize that. They put a regulator on and try to adjust it, yet they have the regulator, the built-in regulator on the gun closed, and it gives issues. So make sure you open it up all the way. That's going to give you the best reading possible. Okay, once the regulator's in here, you're going to go by what the gauge on the regulator says. Alright, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and screw these in clockwise all the way till they can't turn anymore. And basically you won't be able to have any trigger pull the fan. Instead of the fan being nice and wide, okay, it's going to be real thin if you were to spray anything out of here, which right now there's nothing in your gun, so it's not going to matter. Okay, we're going to screw it in all the way in, and we're just going to leave it here. First adjustment we're going to do is the fan. For Activator, we're going to want to open it up all the way. Okay, you're going to go counterclockwise, open it up all the way till you can't no more. Okay, and that's going to be your fan setting. Now the fan, you're going to have a huge spread. You should have about an 8 to 12 inch fan spread. When you see it on the water, hitting the water, you'll see the fan spread. Second, the needle depth. Okay, now on the Warwicks, they don't have a knob or anything like that, a little indicator to show you exactly where your needle is. So what I would do is when you close it all the way, take a permanent marker, or what like I did, I notched out a little groove here, okay, in the up direction or toward your cup. That way you know where the needle is. And for Activator, you're going to want to go about 3 turns counterclockwise, okay, and start from there. Okay, once you're at 3 turns counterclockwise, that should be a pretty good setting for the Activator. Now, because of different tank sizes, airline lengths, your pressure may be a little bit different, but it's pretty much going to all be the same. So we're going to play with this and kind of fine tune it. This is where you want to do it. You don't want to play with your fan setting or the air regulator, the built-in air regulator down here. You're going to want to build, play with it through the needle depth here and kind of adjust it, so on. So that's basically how you adjust it. Open up the fan setting all the way, needle depth about 3 turns counterclockwise, and we'll go from there. We're going to go 3.5 turns and 4 turns if it doesn't work for you, but typically 3.5 turns should be more than enough to get Activator down on your pattern. Okay, let me grab my air hose here real quick. Alright, so as you can see, alright, I have mine set at about 25, 26 PSI right now at the gun. Okay, at trigger pull, you're going to see it drop down. And for Activator, you're going to want 10 to 11, maybe 12 PSI. No more than that. Any more than that, you're going to get huge waves in the water, and it's going to probably rip your pattern here. So when at the tank, At the tank, you're going to want, 60 psi. That's where I have mine set at, 60 psi at the regulator at the tank. And then when you attach your airline, okay, you're going to want somewhere about 25, 26 psi. Trigger pull, you're going to want about 10 psi. Okay, and that should be right there. That should be the setting that you want for activator. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'm gonna go ahead and fill the cup up with some activator, and I'm gonna spray over the tank so you can kind of see, over the tank what it should look like. Okay, so now we're ready. We got the gun set up. We're ready to shoot our activator onto the pattern. Once again, we have our pressure at the gun set at 26 psi. At trigger pull, we want about 10 psi to 11 psi. Okay. The best way to really tell how much pressure you should use or not to use is basically holding the gun over the tank and pulling the trigger and just letting air come out. As you can see, there's very little ripples into the water. You don't want a lot of ripples. You certainly don't want something like this. And that's going to rip your pattern. Definitely with the activator. You also don't want a little bit, because what you're going to do is get droplets in your pattern, and that's going to tear your pattern apart as well. Okay, so it's not going to atomize, and what we need is a atomization for the activator. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set this back up to about 10 psi. Okay, as you can see, water doesn't move all that much, so I'm able to go onto my pattern and spray my activator accordingly. Again, 10 psi to 11 psi. You may have to work on the trigger pull a little bit. May have to work on your needle depth to get it, to your liking. But this is typically how you would want to set it up. Okay, so we have our fan setting real nice and wide. So when I spray this trigger now, I should have about 12 inches, which I do, of nothing but activator. Okay, so when I shoot my activator, I want to be about 16 inches above the water also. I want to be anywhere between 14 to 16 inches and nice and even. So when I spray my activator, should be nice and even with the pattern. Okay, make sure you're using dams to keep the pattern from shifting, but you want it to be nice and even. And no change in depth or height from the water to your gun. You want to keep a nice even distance on it. And that's basically how you're going to set it up for activator. Okay, you're going to have to play with it. I'm going to tell you that. You're going to have to play with it, and you're going to have to play with a depth needle until you get just a precise amount of activator. Each activator is different also. Liquid Concepts is different, TWN's is different. So each of them you're going to have to play with a little bit. Some you're going to need more activator, some you'll need less. So that's how, that's basically it. I hope that this helps you. You have my number. If you want to give me a call and we can go over it. But that's pretty much how you set up your Warwick for activator. Thank you.